That's
Oh,
good. That's good.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hello, everybody in Facebook land. La la land. This is Sashka, your host, with my idea that I had of starting off with an expert panel for different themes within marketing, within strategy, within advertising, communication, psychology, everything around all the marketing tools. And today, I'm very excited. So on my expert panel, I get to invite you. So this is actually quite a privilege, and I like these two people. So this is going to make it even more fun. So I'm going to read a little bit here on who our next guests are, starting with, ladies first, sorry, Anders, starting with Annica, and I'm going to pronounce her surname, which is probably not right, so we'll just call her good luck. But her name is Annica Törneryd. Say it again, Annica.
Törneryd.
There we go. See, can't say Swedish. No. Anyway, she is the founder of Act to Exceed. All right. Not just succeed, but exceed expectations as a certified coach, trainer, and speaker and executive director of the John C. Maxwell team. That's a huge thing.
Cool.
Annica is also on a private level, mama of 3 children, right? Oh my God.
Yes.
Like, I understand this. This is amazing. And powerhouse woman and entrepreneur. She's an experienced facilitator of the leadership game. This sounds like fun because I love games, and has played it with people from all over the world. What could this possibly be? The game helps organizations improve their leadership intelligence. Is there such a thing as leadership intelligence? Bond, Kingsman, and increase their effectiveness. It's fun, challenging, it's an experience, and it's designed to help you and your team better understand core leadership values, because today we're all about leadership. And then we have, in my top right-hand corner, it's probably the same with you, we have Anders Eklund. I hope I pronounced that properly, Anders.
That's great. Thank you.
Wonderful. And he is the co-founder and managing director of Geneswiss. So very, very clever. Gene Swiss, but pronounced Geneswiss. Consultancy, an international coaching and consulting firm headquartered in Zurich, Switzerland. Yeah. They develop, improve, and empower organizations by using their own speak analogy, or methodology, which is systems, purpose, excellence, analysis, knowledge, as well as their leadership to success program. He's a sought-after leadership coach, business advisor, and speaker. And I've personally met Anders, and I'm still to meet Annica live. Us two getting together is just a different story. Anders is also proud daddy of 2 older daughters, and his wife is a gorgeous artist and photographer. So, without further ado, hello.
Hello.
Anders.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Wow, that's an introduction.
I just realized your names both start with A.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Pretty interesting.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yes. So for all our listeners, I'm going to be very wary of the time, because I know that our attention spans of late are of that of a goldfish. So we're going to go a little bit longer than 2 minutes. So just bear with us, because we're going to be speaking about all things leadership. I'm going to pose a question, and my aim and my objective actually is to show everyone that despite being in the same branch, market, niche, profession, that there's always a different opinion, there's always different thought leadership, and that thought leadership is what attracts you to your clients and your clients to you. So it doesn't matter in the same profession where you think, oh my God, I'm one of many, but what differentiates you is your uniqueness within that profession. And how you move forward with that is through your thought leadership, which is a main topic, which is about what we're going to be talking about today. So I want to kick it off with a question. Raise your hands who would like to answer it first. What defines a great leader? I'd love to know from you, your viewpoint, what defines a great leader? Annica, start with you.
Yep.
Oh, okay, Anders.
Yeah, with who? Me, you?
No,
You
no,
go
you
first,
go.
Anders.
You go first. No, go first.
Okay, I go first.
Ladies
I go first. So, like you said, Sashka, you can ask a billion people and you will get a billion answers.
Mm.
What comes to mind for me and what I value and prioritize is courage. And so any type of leadership, whether it's for a large organization, whether it's for a smaller team, a unit within a larger organization, in a family, parenting, I think courage I admire it so much. And I love people who have the courage to say, this is what we're doing. This is our direction. These are our values. To stand for what you believe in and to actually have the courage to take the action that is required to walk the talk and not just talk the talk. Same in parenting, any kind of relationship, any kind of team. I love courage, and I think it's a great leadership quality. Not the most common one, but it's what I appreciate and value.
I love that. I'm courageous. Yes. Anders, what do you think makes a great leader?
Cool. That's a very, very nice description of it, Annica. I really like that. And as you said, Sashka, we all look at it different ways. I appreciate very much leaders who know how to serve others in the best way. So that's the short version of it. And to make an environment where the other, so if you are leading someone, you are not managing them, you are leading them. And when you lead them, you also need to make the environment for them to do their job properly. So it is to serve them in many ways. So serving is not just to giving them food in the morning or go for or bring a coffee. It is to make an environment where they can thrive, where they can learn, where they can explore, and where they can do their job in the best way. And then you add also, of course, to that is the leader's values. And the three values I believe the most in, and what I appreciate a lot, is trust, respect, and transparency. So that is how I describe your or answer to your question. We can talk about this for a long time, but just a shorter version of it.
It was shorter. What do I define as a great leader? So I would define it as, I think for me, a great leader is someone that is inconspicuous and leads from behind, and leads with empathy and belief. I think if they have those two qualities, that's for me a great leader, because the empathy, there's just so much around empathy, which is the energy where you listen first before you speak. The inconspicuous is not dominating with dominance, or I'm in charge and you will follow me, or the control, but being in both feminine and masculine, and very grounded. So that for me would define a great leader, which leads me to my next question, why I've said that in particular. So I would love to know from you who is, I wrote this down, so I want to make sure I really say it properly. So which leaders inspire you the most to be the leader you wish to be and help others become?
Wow.
I go first? No?
Yep.
Go ahead, Anders.
I think we know him both, Annica and myself. Annica works with him. I read about him and follow him on the social media. John Maxwell, actually. I think what he is doing for the leadership world, if you like to call it in that way, it's extraordinary. And the way he sees it, and he sees it as well. And why I resonate so much with him is because I think I have the same values. I think in the same way like him. So he would be the one that is very much inspiring me. Today, of course, I have had bosses, if you like, or leaders. There is a difference between boss and leader, by the way, but okay. So that might be your next question. Is some that I have been reporting to during my 25 years career, and I am extremely happy to have had them and grateful to have had them. I maybe don't mention them here, but during my career in the Finnish company, two particular that made me contributed to what I am today.
Oh, are you there? Oh, just was hanging for a bit. Sorry. So I was like, oh, I lost Anders. Okay.
Oh no, I'm still here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and yourself, Annica, and how do you come to know John as well, Maxwell as well? So maybe just answer the question and then go into that.
Okay, so the question, well, Anders already said it, so I'm not going to go with the same one, but I have to say something about it, because John Maxwell is someone who has been the facilitator that has helped transform my life in so many ways. He is actually on that photo there. I'm trying to point there behind me. That's him and I having a nice moment in Orlando. So I go and see him twice a year with thousands of coaches. The thing I like most about him is that he is hilarious. He is so funny.
Really?
Oh my gosh. I've always been the clown and tend to be the one who entertains people, make people laugh. So it's not easy to make me laugh. Maybe I don't have a sense of humor. I don't know. But I just laugh out loud listening to him, watching him. He's genius. So yes, he's someone he's my number one role model. And another person that deserves to be mentioned and is someone who inspires not just me but so many people around the world is Dr. Betty Uribe. And she's my mentor. She's my friend. She's vice president. She's been vice president of California Bank and Trust and is a great leader, someone who really lifts and leads others. And best-selling author of a book called #Values, one of the coolest book titles I know. But she is also someone who puts a lot of courage into her relationships, in her leadership. And like Anders said, servant leadership. She talks about, we don't do this alone. So if you're a great leader at the top of your career, super successful, you didn't get there alone. All those people helping you, supporting you, challenging you, provoking you, putting you down, so that, they're all part of it. And she's the one who really makes me want to be better for me, but also better for the people I can lead. She said something in her book that just went straight to my core, and she says, be the champion of someone. So be the one who allows people to stand on your shoulders. Like, if you're strong, if you can, lift them up, help them get to a level they could never have gotten without your help. And so when someone who does these things shares it, I instantly get, oh my gosh, I want to be like that. And so then I make the effort to become that. So I love people who actually, either by saying or doing, help me become better. And so she's someone who does that for a lot of people. Dr. Betty Uribe.
How do you spell her name?
So Betty, like Betty Boop.
Yeah.
And Uribe is Uribe. Uribe.
Oh, wow. Where's she from?
Wait, I'm having a brain freeze moment. Colombia.
Oh, wow. So she's passionate as well. Oh, that is amazing.
She's fire. She's fire.
Oh, wow. I'll have to get the name afterwards, or we can put it in the
I'll be happy to connect you. She should be on your podcast for sure. She just won an award in London, a global woman. She spoke at the World Bank in New York, and she's quite the lady.
Oh, yes, please. I would absolutely love that. Yeah. So my people my leaders, strangely enough, just occurred to me. They're both men, and they're dead. It's not much hope for people alive. Anyway, so that's why I'm very excited to learn about Europe. Betty.
Uribe.
Uribe.
I thought you were saying Europe. What do you mean Europe? She's in America.
Oh, I love it. So the person or the leaders that I have most admired and still do admire, even though they're still not alive, Marcus Aurelius and Mandela, Nelson Mandela, Madiba. I cannot speak about Madiba. My eyes are tearing up. I cannot speak about him without wanting to cry. So who he is for me, that I want to become and help others become, is to be the leader of, I don't even know what the word is. The word that comes to mind is just forgiveness of everything around you, and to live in that humble groundedness. And like I said before, it's that inconspicuous where you're leading from behind. You silent servant. That's just for me as a leader, where you and rising together. So you pull people. You're just a natural magnet that pulls people to you, because people see you as having the key that they believe that they don't have within themselves, and being able to show them that you do, and how big they do have that within themselves. Why is there a stigma around? Because there's quite a large stigma around being a leader. Why do you think there's such a large stigma around being a leader? Is it because, for example, like you were mentioning, Anders, a lot of people see leaders as managers and bosses and their dominance? And how do you want to impact, challenge, or change the way leadership is seen and taught and encouraged within the world today, within corporate, within business, and within family life?
I lost you a little bit because of the line. So if you would like to say it, ask it again, that would be fine.
Cool. I don't remember what my question was because it was on the fly. So
I can answer first then.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question was, like, there's a stigma to being a leader because people don't know, is it a boss or a leader, and why? So I will freestyle respond into that. And I just want to make a note that we're going into, I feel, a little bit of a minefield here, slightly provocative, because stepping on people's toes and stuff. So here we go. Most people in leadership positions are bosses. They come into this position because they started here, and then they go up, and then so they were trained to do this position. They were not trained to be a leader. So they do as best as they can, but they were maybe from the beginning a trained lawyer or a trained accountant. So who helped them know what a great leader should do? Nobody. So they do as best as they can. And who is their teacher? Well, the one who was the boss before. So leadership has not been something on our curriculums at school. That's why most people don't know it or know how to lead. So there's a whole bunch of bosses, and how to manage people, measure and dates and deadlines. But people don't want to be measured. They don't want to be managed. They want to be inspired. So for that, it requires a leader, someone with courage, someone who can lift and lead people, who does not micromanage, who will trust in people. Trust, respect, transparency. Yeah, great words, like Anders said. And so in my work, I see a lot of people in leadership positions who struggle because they have incredible pressure on them to deliver as a leader, but they don't know how to. So they do as best as they can. And then there's the ego, and then there's the not wanting to lose face. So they basically just push. And who likes that? Nobody. So stigma, yes, it is difficult because not like the most people in leadership positions had to just do as best as you can with no real guidance. So when you get to meet a real leader oh my goodness, it's such a difference. And I actually feel sorry for those in leadership positions who did not have proper mentoring or guidance or coaching to know how to do it. It's like take someone who never cooked, but they ate their whole life, and then say, okay, now you fix it. Like, oh my God, how do you do it? Well, if you have to do it, you do it as best as you can. And it may be good, it may not be so good.
Yeah.
Does that count for an answer?
What did you mean by being a real leader? So what is, in your opinion, a real leader?
Like everything we touched upon in the beginning, I like Anders' concept: courage, servant leadership, trust, respect, and transparency. A great leader is someone who lifts, who knows what to do, does it first. And I've been wanting to ask you, Saskia, because you've said twice now, lead from behind, which does not go with how I see it. Maybe we mean the exact same thing, but for me, a leader is the one in the front, leading people, showing the way, dragging them along if it has to be, but not pushing them or whipping them. Or a leader is someone who has the vision, may not be able to do all the tasks, but has sharpness enough to know, okay, Anders, you're good at this, Saskia, you're good at that, let's do this together. And have the overview of, okay, are we moving forward? Where are there conflicts? Do we have a problem? To help, to lift and lead so that there's continuous way forward. Without, and all the standard things, give someone praise in public, and if there's trouble, take it one on hand. Coach people. I think a great leader, according to a study done by Google over 10 years, they did an in-house study over 10 years to come up with what are the defining factors that makes a leader a great leader. And the number one thing on that list was to be able to coach people, to have a coaching conversation, to actually help people bring out the best in themselves, to help people exceed their own expectations, not just learn the job and do it, but to do a little bit more, and maybe inspire them to hit their own goals within the company. Like, how can I support my employee to reach their goal, to become a little bit more, maybe a private goal, but still support them in their personal desires or achievements. That's a great leader.
I love that.
Wow. Cool. I cannot more than agree to Annica. If I would have started, I most probably would have said almost the same things. But I like to add, because I say that leadership is simple, but it's very hard work. And before I go into that, did you know that the world is spending more than 50 billion US in leadership training per year?
No.
50 billion, more than 50 billion. And do you know how many CEOs can deliver because of their leadership? 14% in the world can deliver on strategy because of their leadership skills. But still the world is pushing out 50 billion in leadership training. That made me think. So this is in a report done last year, which is called the Global Leadership Forecast. And for example, Ernst & Young is one big part of it. It made me really think. And then when you start to connect the dots, as Steve Jobs said, less than 20% of the world leaders, I know we come into a very interesting topic, by the way, less than 20% of world leaders are doing what they would like to do from their own purpose point of view. So less than, if you read this, less than 20% in the world, they have a purpose. They do the work according to their own purpose. Okay? And even less than 20% can even write down their purpose statement. So let's take this scenario. You have 80% of the leaders go to work every day, but they are not really doing what is their own purpose, their own passion, if you like, gift or passion. You can throw around with these both. So 80% go to work, and why do they go to work? That we can always talk about. Maybe it's money, maybe it's pressure from family. It can be whatever. So to me, it's not a surprise that only 15% on average in the world contribute with passion to their work. 2/3 of the employees in the world go to work and do their stuff, but not very inspired. And about 18% is actually working against the company. So if you take these statistics, and that 20% of the leaders are actually doing what they love to do, to me it makes totally sense. Because the leader's job is to inspire the people. This is what we basically, if you conclude what we talked about, to inspire the people to do the best. So if only 20% of the leaders in the world do what they do and they love it and they show that they love it, and you need to, so purpose is not something logical, it is a feeling. And when you shine your purpose, you are very inspired what you do, you take people with you, which we also discussed just. So this is where I think so many things go wrong. And I started to think about, and that this is what I do. So when I start to coach, I always start with the person's CEO or CFO, doesn't matter, his or her own purpose. And if it's an entrepreneur, that needs to be aligned with the company purpose. But also, if you take a CEO for a big corporate, 5, 10, 50 billion company, he needs to do what he's really encouraged, or not encouraged, burning for. And that needs to be aligned with the company purpose. And that's a winning formula, because then he or she can get the people with him or her. So, yes. This is so interesting, and thank you, Annica, for putting this into motion.
Yeah,
I need to stop her now, because I get so inspired of talking about this, actually, because this is where I think it goes wrong in the world. You put 50 billion into the training, but they never focus on the person, her or himself. Yeah. And when I start to think about the 25 years I have been trained, I don't know how many leadership trainings I have been. It's all about circulating of how the company is going to succeed, and not the person to help the company succeed. I think that's where we spend too much money on wasting too much money.
So do you believe that border leaders are born or leaders are made?
They are made. I have not seen a single baby, at least not our daughters, where it was written leader in the forehead when she came out or they came out. I didn't see that. To be to the point, actually.
That's cool. And you, Annica?
Well, every single one of us is born to begin with. And then they say that some have more natural tendencies, like a more natural flow to be a leader, but yeah, hey, we all get our talents. Someone is good at making people feel loved. Someone is good at making people be quiet. Someone is good at cooking. Someone is good at constructing things. And then they say, can you become a leader? Can anyone become? Well, you can definitely improve your leadership. I mean, there's John Maxwell wrote a book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and there's 21 different things you can focus on to improve. So I think every single one of us has massive potential in improving how we lead our lives. How many people micromanage their own life? Not so many. what do you have to do to really get results, a different result than the one, I said, I want this result. And then you keep doing the same things. Every single one of us do that. And in order to get a better result, you have to micromanage. You have to lead yourself. And that's a big challenge.
Mm.
Everything all leadership starts with the woman or man in the mirror.
Yeah.
That's it.
And another factor that has came through a private coaching session I had, and we were talking about why was she not doing that thing she had to do. That she says, I want this result. Okay, great. Then you have to do this, and you get this. Okay, great. And she knew that, and she kept putting it off. There were reasons, meaning excuses, and so it just didn't happen. And so we dug deeper and deeper. Why is it not happening? Why can you not lead yourself to the success you say you want? Well, here's the thing. When you're just you at home or in your office, and like you've said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish this webinar, or I'm going to set up this podcast, or I'm going to take my team to do this. If it's only you who knows it, when the reasons, the excuses come along, you just, okay, I'll do it later. Whereas if you share it with the world, if you have accountability, or if you've said it out loud, then if you don't deliver on your commitment, then all of a sudden you're going to not have to just feel, okay, I didn't do it, but the shame or the guilt or the in front of other people makes us make the effort. So leading oneself most often gets much more effective when you have an accountability partner, or yes, any kind of accountability that will help you commit that little extra.
Yeah.
Fully agree. Fully agree.
I agree with it. I believe that leaders are born. I believe that leaders are made when they have role models that hold them accountable and show them what leadership is, where they take what there is and build on top of that, whether it's positive or negative, and being able to take it apart and going, that works for me, that doesn't work for me. The natural leadership that comes from someone is then, to answer your question, Annica, why they're from behind, because you were speaking about cooking. So I'm a very visual person. So I was imagining myself in the kitchen cooking with my kids. And I'm not the leader that goes, all right, children, this is how we're going to be cooking right now. So you're going to be doing this and you're going to be doing that, and directing everyone, but rather observing from behind. So I'm not in front of them, I'm from behind and leading there, where I'm going, okay, well, he's good at that and she's good at that and she's good at that. So how do we do this together without explicitly labeling somebody? Because kids, as soon as you say to them, you're good at this, they just believe, well, that's the only thing I'm good at, and then forget the other stuff. So not explicitly going, you're good at this, but going, this is a great idea. Why don't we just put this together over here? And, you did this over here, and I think that's great. Carry on over there. So silently leading from behind, as opposed from in the middle of everyone and taking charge of everything and leading, but letting everyone that's with me lead just by example, by role model. That for me would be, my answer to whether they are born or made. It's the seed and how you plant it and how you feed it, ladies and gentlemen. So what, going on our last question now, what advice would you give to our listeners when it comes to leadership within their business, brand, family life, because they're all intertwined with one another? What are 3 action steps that you could give to our listeners today to follow through, to go, you know what? I personally believe that leading is leading an idea and a purpose, as you say, Anders. If you don't have something, a reason or a cause to lead, what are you leading? Like, what's the point? So to our listeners that are listening and going, I really want to lead my accounting team or my department or my design team. I feel that I'm failing. I don't know where I'm actually going with this. I'm not really committed. I don't have the accountability. I'm a solo entrepreneur. what are 3 tips that you could give them for today where you can go, okay, put this into action today, and just start with this. As I say, done is better than perfect.
Maybe I kick off. So, and this is also what I teach, basically. So there are 3 main core things I believe 1000% is the most important in leadership. Is it leading yourself? Is it leading your children? Is it leading your wife, which is also important, or being led by the wife? No, so just joking. So it's everything. If you're leading yourself, leading others, children, it doesn't matter. 3 pillars in my teaching, and they are purpose, which we discussed, life values, and communication. And just quickly, so purpose, if you know your purpose and you know your company's purpose and they are aligned and you live what you really want to do, then it is a sort of energy that is inside leadership. Second, life values, and I think I talk from experience as well. If you don't take care of yourself, which belongs to the life values, if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anyone else either. So you first, and I said, start with the woman or man in the mirror. So you need to take care of yourself. Last is the communication. And when we were born or made or came to earth, if it's God or whomever else, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And we need to use it in that ratio. So listen twice as much as you talk. That will bring you far on your leadership journey. So communication. So these are the pillars. And then someone said, yeah, there's so much more. Yes, I know. Strategic things, values, and all this. But if my belief is when I use these 3, everything else falls in place.
I love
so,
that.
Purpose, life values, and communication.
I'm jotting them down in the notes for everyone. And you, Annica?
So my top 3 advice to anyone who is leading their team, leading their small business, their family, whatever. 1, do what you say you'll do. At the end of the day, we are what we do, not what we say we'll do. And if you say you're going to commit to doing this, or you're going to do this, or you're going to take your kids to cinema, or you're going to sell this much next month, make sure you do it.
Yeah.
If you want to be able to take yourself seriously, if you want the respect of others, walk your talk. Do what you say you're going to do. I know someone who said for 3 decades that he or she wants to lose weight. Every day, the person eats the same stuff, looks the same. So do what you say you'll do. Number 2, I would say values, but Anders already did that. So I'll quickly throw in a note on that and say, knowing in your heart, owning and feeling your values. If you don't already, I strongly encourage you to do so. Sit down and go through a values exercise. Since I did that, and I've had my top 5 core values: authenticity, honesty, integrity, family, and humor. And they are with me in everything. They are a tool that helps me make decisions. Is this good for me? Do I want this? Let me check if it's aligned with my values. Yes, go for it. No, then it's no. Because making decisions in your business to move forward is difficult. It's difficult to lead your own business because you want to please others. You want to get results. So you think, maybe I should say yes, because maybe there's an opportunity there. When you know your values, you have a great decision-making tool.
Yeah.
So number 2, think bigger, because you can. Anyone leading a team, leading a family, leading an organization, your own little company, think bigger, because you can. If you want results, enjoy the journey. I mean, if it's just a matter of enjoying today, think bigger, step into everything and make it more. Last but not least, you get these pieces of advice from people who want to share their knowledge, and you can get 75 pieces of advice every day, or 7,000, depending on how much time you spend on internet. And you're not gonna like everything, but then there's gonna be so much that you think, oh, great tips, great advice. And then you have it on a list or a post-it or in a book somewhere or a downloaded thing. If you just pick one of them, one single out of the billions you have on your list, apply one strategy, one tool, one advice, and you will get results. By having all these, great things to do, but not applying them, you get no result. So it goes hand in hand with do what you say you'll do, but apply the tools you have. If it's just one, then apply that one as if your life depended on it, and then you will get results.
I love that. I put that in the comment. Thank you so much. So from Anders, we have 1 purpose, 2 your life values, 3 communication, 3 tips and action steps for you today to follow, to put into your leadership, thought leadership for your life, for your business. From Annica, we have do what you say you'll do. We are what we do now, and what we say we'll do.
Not what we say we'll do.
Not what we say we'll do. There we go. And values. So I've added that as well. Values, adding on from what Anders said as well. Knowing in your heart, owning and feeling your values. 3, think bigger because you can. Definitely give yourself permission to think bigger. And if you want results, to enjoy the journey as well. And pick 1 piece of advice you love and apply it. From my side, it would be 1, believe in yourself and in your purpose. And by believing in yourself and your purpose, you do need to know what your values are, and narrow them down, because a lot of people are like, which isn't wrong. So there's no right or wrong, but a lot of people will have 10 different values. Narrow them down to 5. It gives you a little bit of leeway. And as Annica and Anders also say, if you're wanting to make a decision, it gives you that leeway, that space to go, does it align with this? So when you believe in yourself and you believe in your purpose, start getting into action. Point number 2. Once you've got an action step where you're going to go, I want to lose weight, I'm going to start with a green juice. I have no idea how it is, but I'm going to start with it. I'm not going to go full on, change everything and have a detox and completely shock my body. I'm just going to start with 1, whatever time of the day it is. Get into an action. And once you're in action, 3, you get momentum. And once momentum starts, you start creating positive habits. And once you start getting into that habit of believing in yourself, your purpose, action, and then momentum, before you know it, you're standing a different person, and you too are also a leader. Ta-da! That's just how easy it is, ladies and gentlemen. Follow these easy steps. Anyway, if you love and are struggling with your own leadership, and you're wondering, damn, I need that accountability. I need to be able to speak my integrity. I need to be able to be transparent. I need to be able to put my heart and soul into what I'm doing and believing and finding those values, or we didn't get into it, Annica, the leadership game, then please get in touch with Annica and or Anders so that you can find out more about them. In the comments, we will put the website links as well where you can find them. They're very easily accessible. They will not bite, I promise you. They're funny too, and they love, love, love what they do. They are powerful at what they do because they believe in themselves and in their purpose. They have action every day, and they've gained momentum because they've put into practice what they preach, and done is better than perfect. Thank you so much, Anders and Annica.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time, and for the listeners, thank you as well. And if you have questions, don't forget on #replay to let us know what your questions are. Tag Anders and Annica and myself if you have any questions so that we can answer them for you. And please do, by all means, challenge the status quo, because that's what we're here for. We don't like to follow the norm. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Love you lots, and have an awesome week further. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.